Have you ever been in a romantic relationship where it feels that it's not just you and your partner? Sometimes it feels like there is an extra person that should not be included in the equation. Well, for today, we're going to be reading about some of those cases where one person just cannot seem to understand they are not part of the relationship. I am not okay with my boyfriend's female best friend anymore. We have been together since March 2021, 20 female, 27 male. We are kind of a long distance, but see each other every weekend. He has a girl best friend, we call her E, who he met on December 2020. They are close but doesn't see each other as much as they used to. They live really close from each other. She is a really sweet person and I started becoming friends with her too. But after these things happen, I don't know anymore. So my boyfriend smokes a lot, and in the beginning of our relationship, he said he would hate the fact that I smoke with other dudes without him. So we agreed that none of us would do that. Then he smoked with her a few weeks after that rule, alone, even though we agreed on that rule together. I was really pissed, but forgave him and we gave up on that rule. He would also compare me to her, like our clothing, music taste, and stuff, because E has a better style and her music tastes were more similar to his, and so on. I literally started to hate her because I felt like I wasn't good enough for him. I asked him kindly to stop many times, but only when I said, then you can go and date E if you feel like she would be a better match for you, he then apologized and stopped. It took me a few months to get over it, and me and E became really close. I was not that jealous anymore, and everything went fine until 1 month ago. We were out clubbing, not together, since I was in my town and he was in his. We got into a fight, which we haven't been in since November, and he sent me a snap that said, "Hey E, wanna sleep together? My girlfriend is tripping." He didn't sleep with her and he only texted me that to hurt me. He apologized and we talked about it a lot. After he sent me that snap, one of my guy friends who were in the same club as them told me he think he saw them kiss. So I really got broken. But turns out they didn't. He also is in a happy relationship and have been since a month after me and my boyfriend got together, and I couldn't picture her doing that. But afterwards, I just get so jealous again. I can't really stand the fact that they are still talking. I am feeling so insecure and I don't know what to do. He says he would build up the trust with me again, but I don't know if I can accept their friendship and it makes me feel like an awful person. Sometimes I come up with sarcastic comments like I feel like he prioritizes hers more than me, even though we see each other more than they do. I'm just so scared and frustrated and I hate these feelings. I do not trust him as much as I used to, but I'm 100% sure they didn't cheat with each other. He gets frustrated every time that I mention her, and I get it. I just cannot get over it, and I don't know if I ever will. I know it doesn't help when I bring her up in arguments, and it is toxic. It's just my feelings right now, and I'm still hurt. So, how can I get over it? What is acceptable and what isn't? Really fast, I don't think his best friend is the problem. I think he is the problem. And I say this because he was the one who began comparing his girlfriend to his best friend, and he began saying like, "Oh, I have more things in common with my best friend than with you, my actual girlfriend." And I think that I know what he's doing and I know why. There is this horrible practice that some people do and they even do it like unconsciously. It's very crazy, but people sometimes do not realize what they're doing until years later. It happened to me, it happened to many friends. Some people genuinely like to make their partner jealous so they can get a reaction out of them. And I think this is the case. Because why else would you tell the person that you are dating, with who you are in a serious relationship with, why would you tell them, I have more things in common with this other person than you, if it's not to make them jealous and insecure? Now, why is he doing this? Well, there's many options. The first one is that he is very insecure inside and he wants to make his partner insecure as well. And that would be like the easiest one. And it sounds crazy, but it can happen that sometimes people want to bring others down to their level so they can feel better with themselves. The other reason is that maybe he just likes to get his ego stroked. The second one is that he likes to have his ego stroked and to know that he has that power over her, to know that he can get that reaction out of her, brings him joy. He likes it. He likes to know that he can cause that to her. And in those cases where someone likes or gets joy to see their partner going through this anguish, that's like incredible big red flag and you should run because these type of things start small and they get bigger and bigger until you basically are completely broken and cannot find yourself anymore. And I just think that when someone gets joy or pleasure or they like to see their partner go through that type of anguish, it's a big, big red flag because you never know when they will stop or what type of thing is enough for them. You know, like to what lengths will they go to make you feel like that just to feel happy with themselves. And that's very crazy. And the third option is that I feel like maybe he wants his girlfriend to get more involved with the things he likes, or he would just love the idea that he and his girlfriend would have more things in common. Like he loves her, but there are many things that he would like for them to share. And instead of communicating that in a healthy way, he is trying to compare her to this other girl. So maybe his girlfriend will have the initiative to start those changes without him asking her, which is fucked up, but a lot of people do that. You know, a lot of people instead of going to their partners and be like, you know, I would really like if you were more romantic or if we went more dates or if you do this or that. Instead of doing that or of having that conversation, what they do is that they compare their partners to others. I think it's actually the second one. I do think that he likes to know that he has that type of power over her. And I do not need more proof for my argument than the fact that when they were fighting, he sent her a Snapchat pretending that he was texting this other girl so they can sleep together. He did it because he knew that that would hurt her and that would get a reaction out of her. The reaction that he wanted. He was angry with her because they were fighting. And when he did that, he was like, I'm gonna win and I'm gonna make you feel worse. And I know how to make you feel worse. I have that power in my hands. And I know that if I send you this Snapchat, I will make you feel like that. In this relationship, I don't think there is a third person kind of problem. The problem in here is the boyfriend. The boyfriend is the only problem in the relationship because he is the one causing that problem just for the sake of whatever he wants to get out of it. Someone in these comments basically said that E is the stick your boyfriend is using to beat you. And that's perfect. That sentence alone is absolutely perfect to describe what he is doing. And the best that she can do is leave this relationship because this won't ever stop. He likes it. He likes to make her feel like that, and she needs to get out of that relationship for her own sake. Found out my wife is messaging her ex. So, backstory for this. My wife started a fight with me over something she ended up admitting later was not a big issue at all. This was a huge fight with a lot of hurtful things said. Some I even recorded when I got concerned for myself. When the fight ended, she cried and half apologized. And then she brought up, as things were getting mended, that she has been talking to an ex via DMs. Obviously, this caught me off guard. She said, through tears as she was getting upset again, that it was just chatting up, and when he started flirting with her, she quit messaging. I took her at her word and forgot about it for a little while. Fast forward, and one day I'm thinking about it and just curious to see what he said. Curious got the best of me, and I found the messages in her phone. What I found was a full message stream between them of him constantly flirting with her and no objections or efforts to shut it down on her part. I'm crushing this moment and immediately put the phone down and pretended nothing happened. The next day, I decided I'm going to go back in, take photos of the whole conversation to figure out what's fully going on. In the DMs, he's constantly asking her to come up to see him. They are both talking about their past sex life, him asking what I would do if I found out they were messaging like that. Her responses aren't necessarily fully playing into it, but they are not exactly giving me confidence. She has written things like, he would be pissed if he knew. I don't want to hurt him. He doesn't have any idea, etc. I want to confront her about this obviously, but how do I do that? I snooped through her phone, which was wrong and I shouldn't have done it, but I cannot just ignore this. My current plan is to ask her if she ever heard back from him after she ghosted him, but if she lies like I expect her to, how do I call her out on it? I think that what you can do is that when she tells you, oh no, well, not he has not written back to me after I ghosted him, what he should say is, can I read the messages? I will feel more at ease and it will help me to read those messages. When you are not hiding anything, when you are being truly, truly honest, you are not afraid to come clean. You are not afraid of being transparent. I just really think that in these cases, when like the guilty part of the relationship is like, oh, so you don't trust me. You need to read the messages because you do not trust me. That's an argument people use to make you feel guilty so they can keep getting away with whatever it is that they are doing. And I hate it when people are like, no, 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 it's their problem because they are insecure and they are not trusting me. Well, if you're doing something like this, where you have done something to make them feel insecure and to make them feel like they cannot trust you, and you want to make the relationship work, it should be in your interest to make them trust you again. And if your partner needs to read those conversations, to see those messages, to just do a quick check so they can feel at ease and that will have the trust between you, why would you say no? You did something wrong and now you need to make it right. And if it is really important for you to make things right, you should have no problem to show those messages if you have been being honest. If you lied and you kept talking to this person and you kept doing your own thing behind this person's back, it's ridiculous to use that argument. Oh, you do not trust me. And to answer the question of why is she doing this, I have no idea. Like, there's no more information. There's nothing for me to go on about. On Reddit, the post got deleted and the account also got deleted. And one of the comments said, "Good Lord, I just looked at one of your previous posts. This woman doesn't love you, she doesn't respect you, and she treats you worse than I treat my garbage cans." And another person on Reddit wrote, "Look at his post history. You're asking him to stop being a doormat after years." And this is another case of a third person not being the problem, but the problem actually being one of the two people inside the relationship. My 23 female boyfriend, 22 male, still talks to the girl, 21 female, he cheated on his ex with. Not sure where to go from here. I don't know what to think or feel. I knew about the cheating part from the beginning. They didn't have sex, but something happened on a few drunk nights out, and there definitely was emotional cheating happening. Anyways, I was wary for obvious reasons, but he was always open to discussing it and it really seemed like he was regretful. To add to that, he's logged into his Facebook account on my phone, gave me the keys to his apartment, and removed the lock from his phone. He also showed me the messages of him telling her how in love he was with me and her wanting to hear the whole story. They do not text a lot and it's mostly her who reaches out. We study at the same uni, but I'm from a different city. I went home for a week once and he invited this girl out for lunch on the first day I was gone and forgot to tell me about it. I had to find out for myself months later in a really weird, complicated way that would take too long to explain. He said that he didn't think anything of it at the time and that they were just friends, but that he understood where I was coming from, apologized, and promised it wouldn't happen again and would tell me if she tried anything. Then, yesterday I saw her on the street and I think she recognized me too. I was just on my way to my boyfriend's apartment, and when I got there, he told me she asked him if he wanted to go clubbing with her. He said he couldn't because of exams, which I took an issue with. I cannot imagine asking any of my taken friends to go clubbing, and if I ever were to do that, I would ask if their SO wanted to tag along. Also, the exam thing seems like a very non confrontational excuse, and I told him I'd be much happier if he could just tell her that it's inappropriate for them to stay in contact and leave it at that. I think I'm just weirded out by the whole thing and I'm starting to sense that something could be wrong. But he could also very well be completely innocent and I don't want to push him away because of one issue. He is very loving and caring otherwise and we want to move in together for the next semester. I feel like we're the perfect match and I love that man with my whole heart, but this keeps bugging me when we're not together. Am I overreacting? Is this just a difference in boundaries or is something fishy going on? It is very, very hard to ignore the fact that she was comfortable enough to go to his place and ask him if he wanted to go clubbing with her. Do we know that she just went to his place to ask him if she wanted to go clubbing? Because this is a very recent post. This post was published this year. So that means that cell phones exist. We are in the digital era. Ah, this is a very sad case because this is one of those cases where he is letting this other girl get in between his relationship. He is allowing it. And I think that maybe he has not fully cheated on her, but just the fact that he is still letting this girl be so close to him, it's an immense lack of respect for the relationship. Because as OP wrote in this post, this girl went to his apartment to ask him if he wanted to go clubbing with her. And I just have a hunch that she was in his place for longer than that. We live in the digital era. We use phones more than ever in the history of the whole world. If she just wanted to know if he wanted to go clubbing with her, she would have texted him. She would have called him and asked him if he wanted to go. Why would she go all the way to his place? Did she use that as an excuse to go and see him? Yes, and it's just really annoying because it's not only him that is the problem, it's also the other girl. Because the other girl knows that the OP exists. She is aware that he is in a relationship. And I just think that in these type of cases, both people are equally at fault. They are equally guilty of what they are doing. So I do not think that OP here is overreacting. I think that she is seeing all of these red flags, but sometimes love can turn those red flags into pink flags or purple flags, and you're not seeing straight. And feelings can do that to you. If you are in an exclusive relationship and you are still entertaining someone with who you had something with, or that it's pretty obvious that they still want something with you, you are betraying your relationship. Like, no, it's like, no, talking to someone is not cheating, but you need to have common sense. It just makes me laugh so much because people who do these type of things like to pretend that they do not have common sense. Like they don't know what they were doing. They never know what they were doing. They were just like, oh, I was just talking to them. I didn't think that something else might come up. Oh, please, you do know. You do know it, but you like the attention. You do know it, but you still like the other person. Whatever it is, you do know. People like to play dumb to seem innocent. She wrote that this guy has been doing everything he can to make her feel like she can trust him. He has been doing everything he can to make this work. But clearly, he is still doing things that are making her feel nervous. So, my advice for this OP is that she needs to give her boyfriend an ultimatum that he needs to cut off this girl completely from his life. Because the whole thing of her going to his place just to ask him if he wanted to go out clubbing with her and he being like, oh, no, 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 I need to study for exams, it's kind of weird because either that means that he's not realizing what is happening in here, or he is still entertaining this girl and he doesn't want to be like, you cannot do that anymore because I have a girlfriend. There is something weird going on, and I cannot explain it, but I do believe that nothing has happened yet in this moment in time in this relationship. Like he has not cheated yet again, but I do feel like the other girl needs to be cut off completely. And that's the only answer. The only correct answer in here is that he needs to stop talking to this girl and make it clear to her that they cannot still be friends. They cannot do it anymore. Because on one hand, I do believe that he's doing the best he can to make his girlfriend trust him and that nothing has happened with this other girl. But on the other hand, I'm like, but it will. But I feel like something will if we don't stop it. And with that said, we reached the end of this week's episode. I really hope that you enjoyed your time with me because I sure enough enjoy my time with you. This was your host, forever yours, Mrs. Cupid.